Alright, take 3. So hopefully, I don't have any more issues. My phone's basically dying, guys, and I'm charging it right now while I'm trying to record this, but it's kind of a time-sensitive thing, so I have to do it, and I have to record whatever I can. So, there we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, and by the way, I decided that I'm going to add a little bit, this is actually buttermilk. So I'm going to add buttermilk to the whole thing. This is not vegan friendly. Okay, so here's my lye water. I'm going to take it and slowly pour it in and ladle it into my oil. And I'm just going to scoop out any little bit of lye solution that might be from it. Alright, I'm just going to give that a little quick swirl with my spoon. And I'm just going to scrape off any excess oil off of my spoon and put this off to the side. Okay, so now that that's off to the side, let me see if I can bring this in a little bit closer. That way you guys can see what's going to happen here. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to just scrape everything on the inside. That way when it blends, it all blends together. Alright, I'm going to switch all this stuff over to here. For safety reasons, I do not want to knock anything over. Oh, and I also added some hibiscus flower. Here, I can actually show it. I mixed it into the top part. See where that cocoa powder is at? That's hibiscus. Okay, so here we go. Now my batter is going to start to change as it progresses. I don't want it to turn too quickly because I want to put in my additives. And I still need to mix that in. So here we go. Once the batter is complete and it's basically soap, it's going to be one solid color and there won't be any separation. So that's why I'm stopping, I'm blending, and then I'm mixing by hand because I don't want it to turn into soap too quickly because of the heat. And I want to evenly add in my additives to this. So we're looking pretty good. Pretty good. I don't see any separation. But I'm going to play it safe and just give it a couple more turns. But as you can see, it's changing. There we go. So now that looks more consistent. That looks way more consistent. It doesn't look like it's going to separate. Put a couple more. Now, I'm going to pour in my additives. We're just going to take our little scraper. Make sure we scrape all that in there. That's some good shea butter and cocoa butter. We got some white truffle oil. Stuff is expensive. It's really good for the skin though, by the way, guys. And just scrape all that in. Bring it down. Scrape the sides real quick. Alrighty. Let's continue. almost all of our additives. We forgot to add our buttermilk. Look at how nice that is. And once again, we're going to take our scraper, just scrape out all that buttermilk. This is going to be our last additive to the whole batch. Now we're left with this beautiful, smooth, creamy batter. So now that this batter is fully blended, where's my scraper? There it is. I'm going to take a scraper, just scrape off the blender head. Just clean off all that. Because all of this is soap, guys. All of this. All of that is soap batter. So eventually all this becomes solid. My husband's home, so let me open the door for him. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and separate my batter. I'm going to pour half of this in here. Get my scraper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cocoa powder. And I'm going to mix. And mix and mix and mix and mix and mix. And eventually I'm actually going to blend because I want my cones Yep, those are my kids in the background, guys. Alright, so now I am basically just mixing this in right here. And we're gonna blend. One of the main things that we need to do is add in our fragrance. So I'm gonna take my creme brulee fragrance oil and I'm going to pipe it in and I'm going to add it into my soap batter. Now I need to be quick about this because things are starting to change real quick. Okay, baby, if we can stop with the extra noise, I would really appreciate it. Remember, mommy's videotaping. Everything that you're doing is being on the video. Alright, so I'm taking my fragrance oil and I'm just mixing it into my batter. And I'm doing the same thing on this side. So both sides will have fragrance oil. And this side is looking a little chunky. Sorry if I'm raising my voice, but it's just because I can hear my kids are very, very loud in the background and it must be very hard to hear me. So I'm just going to scrape this in and we're going to go ahead and blend this and we're going to pour it into our mold, which I already have set aside. It's basically going to look like chocolate. I'm going to see if I can add some titanium dioxide to that. It will lighten up a little bit, but it just looks way too much like chocolates. So let me see if we can add a little TV to that. So here I have a little titanium dioxide. I'm just going to add a couple squirts in there. And let's give this another mix. With the TV, it should give me kind of like a khaki tan, hopefully like a tan-like color. Let's see. There we go. Not as tan tan as I wanted it to be, but it's good enough. It's gonna lighten up as it goes curing. So let's go ahead and just scrape this off. And we're gonna, and it smells so delicious, guys. It smells like candy. If you've ever had creme brulee, it smells exactly like that. But if you haven't, it smells like candy and like cake all mixed together. It's really yummy, yummy, yummy smell to it. Alright, so I'm going to take this batter and we're going to do ice cream cones. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my ice cream cone mold. There we go. I don't want to make them huge, so I'm not going to fill them all the way to the tippy top. Just get it close enough and then even it out. Let's go ahead and do a few more. So pretty good. And then I'm going to have to tap this down as soon as I'm done. It looks like we had enough for all of them. And I'm just going to scrape off the rest into each one. Maybe it's a little lower, try to even it out. Just try to scrape anything that fell out or spilled. Alright, you can just scrape all that in there. And then we're going to tap. I'm just going to tap it individually a little bit, kind of even them out. Okay. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this and stick it in my oven. And there it's going to set. And if I want it to set a little faster, all I have to do is, turn my oven on. For 170 degrees. Shut it off the moment it goes beep. Alright, now as for the rest of this, I'm going to split the batch again. And my batter is still really, really mobile, so this is really good. Okay, so here I'm going to take this is baking soda with activated charcoal and just a little bit of the hibiscus flower in there as well. Alright, so we're just going to mix that in. And it's going to look like pure black charcoal. Just the way it's meant to look. But now I need to make sure that I blend this so it's nice and smooth. Because if not, it will be kind of chunky. And it won't be even, and I want it to be even. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour this batter in just like that. And we're going to swirl the chocolate in. Well, sorry, the charcoal in too. I'm going to to be making cake slices, and I'm going to be making ice cream. Okay, and then the rest, I think I'm just going to put it in here. I'm going to blend that together. Now the temperatures that I made my soap at are, the lye water was at 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and my oils were roughly around 94, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you can see, they weren't that far off from each other, but they do need to be at a higher temperature to turn into soap. So it can't be too low. Scrape that in, and let's give it a good blend. As you can see, and I'm just going to take my scraper and scrape this directly into the pot, to our pouring cup. I'm just going to scrape all this. All this, scrape it around, give it a good swirl, and then I'm going to drop it in from different heights. As you can see, when I'm fully on my focus, my ticks completely go away. So delicious, it's ridiculous. You're gonna want to eat this after I'm done. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put the rest of this in here. Just make sure everything is scraped in. As you can see, it's not. It's a bit messy. Okay. Let's do it. Give this a good tap. And then skewer, and I'm just going to kind of swirl it through. And just kind of clean off the edges as I go. Gonna have a lot more black than that. Alright, and then that's it. That is how you make soap, everybody. I will be back with it being completely set up and show you guys the end product, and we're going to finish it off by adding a frosting onto them to make them really look like cake.